And today we want to engage you again on a number of matters in which the task force has been engaged for the past week. I see Lesroy smiling, so I mean he would have had a good week last week. Let's take a look at, again, our theme. We want to be the first to be last and the last to be first. And I will keep emphasizing this as we go forward towards reopening our borders and also easing a number of the restrictions. The two presenters before me spoke about the wearing of masks, and this is one of the measures that we are looking forward for persons to keep being compliant to. We keep getting a lot of complaints of persons not being compliant, and the task force would have met, and some of the recommendations going forward in order for us to get some compliance is to, one, host a number of consultations, meetings with stakeholders, the general public, via various means. Two, we also look at the potential of making it a ticketable offense, whereby persons will basically have to pay a ticket. They will be ticketed for not wearing masks. We have seen how some CARICOM leaders have echoed the sentiment of moving from having to take you to court and empowering the police officers to be able to give you a ticket. We look at the cost of these tickets. At present, if you are taken to court, you can pay anywhere up to $5,000 or 6 months in prison, or you can actually be fined both, which is the 6 months and still pay the $5,000. We are saying maybe we looked at some ranging of prices or costs of these ticketable offense, whereby if you don't pay, the ticket itself can become an automatic summons after 10 days. These are some of the recommendations that have come forward in our discussions as a task force. The reason for this is, again, for us to be able to have persons become compliant to these regulations, which are going to help us to remain safe against the impact of this virus. Again, the non-pharmaceutical measures are there. We are basically highlighting and emphasizing for persons to be able to continue to be compliant. We need your cooperation. Before we went into the lockdowns, we had a zeal, we had the connections with you, the general public, the business sector, social partners. And the support was such that everybody went into the lockdowns unified. However, the challenge is that we have to reopen in a very responsible manner, which is going to take time. And it seems that we have run out of patience. We have to be patient with the system. There are assessments that are being done in the best interest of the general public, and this is done just to safeguard you. So therefore, be patient with the system. The task force have been engaging in a number of meetings. We met with a nice presentation, I must say, was made to the cabinet last Monday. And the presentation, I think, the minister is here, so she might be able to say whether the presentation was impactful or not. But I think the engagement was very good with the cabinet, and I'm certain the cabinet will make the best decision going forward as it regards to the reopening of the borders. The task force also had the opportunity to meet with the chair and deputy chair of the Mitigation Council, where a number of measures were discussed in regards to, one, the repatriation process and the players within that process, such as the airline personnel, the persons themselves who are seeking to be repatriated, the health personnel, and other persons who are involved in the logistics of ensuring that this process is a seamless process, a safe process, and very secure. That was discussed, and we looked at a number of things that we can implement to ensure a more efficient and effective process. We were also able to meet with the Ross University School of Veterinary Medicine. And here we looked at the revising of the recent protocols that were put in place for the repatriation or bringing back the 7th semester students. And I think this discussion was very fruitful, and we look forward to the continued partnership as the Ross University will be bringing back a number of other students, such as the 6th semester, the 5th semester, and 4th semester. I would like the general public to continue to support these measures as we are carrying out this balancing act of ensuring economic activities while ensuring that the public health emergency is not compromised in any way. We also had the privilege of meeting with the chairman, the new chairman of the Port Authority, that's Casper, and to bring him up to date with some of the activities that are occurring where the ports are involved. I think the chairman now has a better understanding of what the task force is doing and the collaboration that is required from our ports as critical facilities in St. Kitts and Nevis as we fight this pandemic. In an effort to bring back persons to work within the manufacturing sector, we visited the API Harrow Server in St. Kitts, which is located in Sandy Point, and we did an assessment whereby additional workers will be will be added to the already approved number of workers that are there at this moment. So effective at a date to be announced, they will increase their staff. We want to make sure that persons come out to work, but we want to make sure that that is done safely. And finally, one of the things that we do when we meet as a task force is that we evaluate the requests that are made and submissions that are also made to us for approvals. For example, one of the things that we have done is to ensure that tour operators or the sea tour operators such as catamarans and also those persons that go out to fishing and diving, sporting activities, they make a submission to us, the task force that is, and it's revised, and then necessary approval is given if they meet all the necessary criteria. So that is being done as we seek to stimulate economic activities in St. Kitts and Nevis. The repatriation process. I just want to correct something that I said on the last briefing. One of the things that we want to do as we seek to strengthen or fortify our system is to be able to encourage exit testing as part of our protocols. This is not yet in effect. This is a consideration, and what we try to do, as we have been doing for the past few months, is to sensitize you early of the intent of the task force in advising cabinet as per measures that could strengthen the processes and procedures going forward to combat this pandemic. One of the challenges we are having right now is with the repatriation process. So in discussion with our IT personnel who is on the task force, we have decided that we are going to digitize this process and to make it more user-friendly and efficient. So we want you to have that great experience of not being overwhelmed by the process, but rather than the process to be friendlier and more efficient for you. And we're going to encourage you to visit the www.covid19.gov.kn website, and it will provide you more guidance going forward. Once we have this process digitized, we will bring it to you so that persons can understand exactly how to go about the repatriation to St. Kitts and Nevis as nationals. I want to acknowledge citizens and also organizations that continue and business places that continue to donate to the cause. We had 2 anonymous donors who contributed $1,000 each, and to them we say thank you on behalf of the task force, people, and government of St. Kitts and Nevis. Also to the Home Economics Association, who would have contributed $5,000 to the cause, and to David Curry and Company Limited. Peter Curry would have had a discussion with Dr. Laws, CMO, and myself, and he expressed that he would like this donation to be used to strengthen our healthcare system. And to you, we say thank you as we continue to see the collaborative effort from our business sector, our social partners, in an effort to help the national response to this COVID-19 pandemic. I want to make a special appeal in my next slide to the general public for volunteers. We need volunteers. We need people to help us rebuild our country if we are affected or impacted by any type of disasters or hazards. And therefore, I am appealing to those individuals who are from the ages of 18 to 65 years old to show your patriotism and volunteer to be part of the NEOC District Volunteer Program. Also, it's important for you to be in good health, be available to travel. At this moment, you cannot travel, but you can actually travel within the federation. So we can move between St. Kitts and Nevis, is one federation. And also, you can move up, we can move you from district to district until we are able to travel otherwise. And also, we want to make sure that you are available or you are someone who can adopt to training, because you will have to be trained. So again, if you want to do so, please call us at 466-5100 or visit the NEMO headquarters here at Limekiln Bastia. You will be given a form. You can fill out the form, and then you will be contacted. After being contacted, then we will carry you through an orientation process, and then you will be exposed for further training. Please make a valiant effort to be a volunteer. Contribute to nation building. Now let's take a look at the National Hurricane Preparedness tip for today. Let's look at technology and backing up and securing your data files is very important. So what we are asking you to do, if you keep a lot of files on paper, bearing in mind that one of the elements of any storm is water or rain. So therefore, keep scanned electronic copies of important documents. Even your passport is very important. Things like your birth certificate, death certificate, your marriage certificate, and so on. It's very important to have these things digitized. Back up your files on external devices, network file servers, hard drives, pen drives, or using Google Drive or OneDrive. And these are very important tips for the business places, offices, in particular government offices. And we are encouraging businesses to make this part of their protocols. Be sure as well to carefully label or note the content of the backup and test it to make sure the content can be read again. These are some of the recommendations that we are getting from our IT experts. And again, have a backup copy should be stored in an alternate secure location in the event your office or storage location sustained extensive damage. And if you use a laptop, be prepared to take your laptop home or to a shelter with you if necessary. Bearing in mind too, you have to secure it, because if you take it to a shelter and you leave it there, someone could have more interest in your laptop than you, so secure it properly. It's very important. So those are your tips for today as we continue to prepare for the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season. Thank you very much, and we will now await your questions.